Hi, my name is Susan Stiffelman, and I'm the author of a book called Parenting Without Power Struggles, and Parenting with Presence was my second book. And I have a tribe of parents online, and one of the members of that tribe let me know that some of you, understandably, are really struggling both personally and in helping or trying to help your children cope with the trauma that you've all been through. And what I've decided to do is put together some material for you that might offer a little bit of support or guidance. Some of the people who have worked with trauma and have agreed to join me in this effort are on vacation, as I know many of you are. So what we're doing in the short term, I'm just going to speak for a few minutes here and share a little bit for those of you wanting some support right now. And then we'll be putting together something where you can join us online and we can interact, and if you're interested, we can answer questions or do our best to give some suggestions, particularly those people on this team that I've put together who have experience with trauma. Let me just say this for now. I've read some of the questions that were sent to me, and to be honest, I don't have answers. They're impossible questions. What do you say to a child who lost her best friend? What do you say to someone who says, why aren't there enough police here? Or how many kids got killed? Or what if you and Papa died? And so rather than trying to give you specific answers, let me first tell you why that's not useful. When a child is troubled, it's like in their belly there's a storm of feeling and emotion. And they take this gauzy wrapping paper and they try and gather up all those feelings and present it to you by wrapping this feeling in words. So the gauzy wrapping paper is just meant to kind of be a method of conveying or delivering the inside part, which is the fear, the anger, the hurt, the worry. So when your children ask you questions and you focus just on the words, as if they just want the logical answer, why weren't there more police there? Or let me just look at here. Why did the person do this? The reason I'm struggling, and I'm sure you're struggling, is there aren't any logical answers. So what we want to do is not make the mistake of dwelling or focusing just on the words as if the right, logical, rational answer will comfort them, because what's underneath the word is what we want to pay attention to. It's a raw, intense sense of fear, anxiety, worry, sadness. So what I'd like to offer you is to really focus on the most tangible things you can do right now for your children when they are asking these questions or making these comments. Of course you want to acknowledge it. Yes, I know that's a very difficult question, sweetheart. It's hard to understand why anyone would possibly do something like that. Or I can see that, I'm just looking at some of your questions, I can see that it's there's a part of you that wishes you could understand or know why your best friend happened to be one of those people. But the biggest thing, and some of you I know are doing this, is to be very physical with your children to make sure there's a lot of groundedness, a lot of contact. Of course, some children don't like a lot of hugs, but if they do. The other thing that's helpful, and I know that one of you wrote you're doing this already, drawing out on paper, letting them get out of their head and onto the page what they experienced. Sometimes it can be helpful to let them play things out with their stuffed animals or toys. What we don't want is we don't want the child internalizing or locking up inside the fearful images. To the best of your ability, you want to be able to get that out. And when they do express these fears to you, the worries, rather than immediately shutting them down by saying, well, that will never happen, or trying to dismiss the concerns, which I doubt you're doing at this point since they're so very real, but that you don't attempt to talk them out of their fears rationally, but you keep them close and you say, Mommy's here, we're very safe, and I know that it was very, very scary. We are going to explore this much more deeply and offer some very practical tools for children and for you to help soften the edge of that panic, of that trauma. So some of the people that are going to be sharing with you coming up will be people who have done a great deal of work with, specifically with trauma. But in my offer to you right now is keep life as ordinary as possible. Allow them to express in whatever way. You may very likely see kids who lose their appetite, have trouble sleeping, are more irritable, maybe more withdrawn. You always want to be watching for signs of that. And to create very open communication. So, sweetheart, you might say something like this, sweetheart, it looks like you're still having trouble eating. You haven't been eating much lately, or you don't ever want to go to the park. Tell me about that. And then you close your mouth. You don't say, but we'll have so much fun, or but this is your favorite food. You just give them room to feel what they feel, and you honor that, and you say, I know it's a tough time, and you know what, we're going to be fine. Because ultimately, children are very egocentric. They want to know, number one, that you're going to be okay and they're going to be okay. And number two, they want to know that that they'll be all right. Now, the problem, of course, is for all of you, it's hard to convincingly tell your kids that could never happen again. And this is where I wish I did, I don't have anything to make that promise to you, or it would be dishonest, not truthful if you said, well, that would never happen. So we try and steer around it, and we acknowledge what's underneath that question. It looks like you're really very worried. Come here and sit with me. Shall we color a little bit? And I know that was scary, and no, it's very, very hard for someone to do something that awful. And that's why it almost never ever happens. And it did happen, and we're all shaken up badly by it. And I'm here, and all the helpers are out there looking to make us very safe. And I always like to emphasize for children all the day in, day out experiences of life that you've been through, they've been through, grandma's been through, grandpa's been through, where life has been very safe. So you want to shift their attention to the fact that, if they are open to more rational discussion, or they're an older child, to the very, very, very slim likelihood or occurrence of such an event. So I have hopes that we'll be able to get together with you if you'd like in some kind of live interactive event later in the month. I have my own Facebook page where I have parenting support and guidance. You're certainly welcome to visit that. For Susan Stiffelman, it's the author. And I know that the person who's posting this has so kindly and generously offered to kind of facilitate sharing these videos with you. So please know that we're thinking of you. We're sending you our love and our very best. And I hope that we can offer just some support in the midst of this very, very sad event. Thank you.